I probably said like 5 to 7 times in the group chat. Everybody watch the Vince Staples show so we can talk about it. I feel like as a young LA entrepreneur, rapper, icon, obviously Long Beach, not LA, but
I'm in the next season.
I figured that we owed him an honest conversation about this show.
So he started off at the donut shop.
Yeah. At the donut shop,
very realistic donut shop. I felt like it was the donut shop. Wait, really?
That's where I grew up.
What are the cross streets?
When you told me to watch, hold on, let me tell you, that's on 7th Street in Gaviota.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That was the donut shop. Okay. I lived like 30 feet away from there.
7th and
I remember a car drove into that literal
you drive
fucking
into
one.
That parking. That's a drive-through.
Wow, smashed it.
Okay, so
I'm just saying
that's where you go to get the single cigarette,
and that's where all the junkies would hang out before they came next door to our shit to buy crack.
Shout out to the Gav boys. That's where we grew up, right there.
I swear to God, I lived there for like
Gaviota. Shout out to Kerry Foster. That's my brother. He been dead for a long time, and that's where he introduced me to something.
I can't believe that was the actual donut shop.
It was so real for me though. Watching Vince's show, I'm like,
is it a hood called Gaviota?
No, we was Gav Block.
But were you upset when he went to fucking Echo Park and was fucking pump faking like that lake was in Long Beach?
No. But Vince,
Hollywood.
Vince,
you gotta love Hollywood.
He's like, well, if you know Vince, literally go to a show. It be the twins is in the back. That's his hood. That's OT Genesis hood.
How you feel about him? They bleeped his hood in the first episode.
I know he does that on purpose.
Shouts to my boy
He does that on purpose because he's saying the real thing. If you know that what he's saying, you read the lips.
Right.
He's saying really what park they at.
Yeah.
Like, and that's my brother Vince Staples. I seen Vince Staples got a whole show with a crowd of white, Asian, black people outside. And then they say, we got an issue in the back. And Vince come to the issue, pop it, nigga, okay, well, we gonna run in. Boom, and they say, Vince, time for you to get on stage. And he bounce and go straight on stage and the whole crowd go crazy. But they don't know he was just politicking.
No, he's 1,000% himself. I literally, he's been, because his cousin's a battle rapper, right? So he showed up at a battle rap event and somebody had a bar that wasn't even a diss against him, but like alluded to him. And he was ready to fucking
Vince
turn
Staples
up at
ain't
that
no
exact
joke.
moment. You feel me? And what I really like about that show is how artistically it's done and how he's not perpetuating stereotypes of what people's preconceived notion of what a gangbanger is, but he really is standing on who the fuck he is.
He's doing our real life in his comedy because of how real it is.
He said that his goal was to represent the black experience and to make a show based around what life is actually like for black people. My problem is, as I was watching it, I started to feel like I've been kind of spoiled because I feel like Atlanta was a much better version of this show.
Well, Atlanta had a much bigger budget and was full episodes.
You ain't let him start yet.
I feel you.
These are 20 minutes short.
And there were moments where I felt like this whole thing had a lot of promise, but more often than not, it was a little bit dry, and I was a little bit.
Hold on, this is Vince Staples, though.
You got to see that.
And listen, I'm predisposed the same way that you guys all are to appreciate this. We all like rap. We all live in LA.
But
obviously, we all want to like it. I felt like somebody who's less into the culture than us, I really have a hard time.
You don't think that'd be that much?
I feel like it's pretty universal, just based on entertainment
value.
value.
They don't know how it goes in jail. Like, you got that nigga that's always trying to rap to you when they find out who you is. And you trying to bail out.
That was hilarious.
The jail scenes, I felt optimistic about the show, and I'm going to be honest. The last episode where he's getting chased by this guy who's trying to fucking kill him, that had me on the edge of my seat.
The first and last episodes were the strongest.
That is what I would say. First and last episodes.
And I like how he got into it with Big Cuz and there, right? He like, you steal from the other side.
Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, he like, T-Lo. He like, yeah, T-Lo.
Then that's real. That be real.
And then he gets ran up on the other dude later. He says, fuck T-Lo.
Yeah, he like, fuck T-Lo. You almost got me thinking, whoop, in jail.
As much as I was like not super into it at moments throughout watching it, the last episode and what happens, and I don't want to spoil it. All right, good, because I don't want to spoil it for the people out there. But
is there more than 5?
There's 5 episodes, but the last episode has like a crazy ass, not a cliffhanger. It spells it out exactly what happens, but it makes you be like, holy fuck, what the fuck are they going to do for season 2? Because some crazy shit happens in season 2. Well,
let me tell you one thing. Look about Vince. Literally, I was at a show with Vince. This is real life. This is off the record. I was at a show with Vince and my
This is not off the record. This is on a live stream. For
Okay,
many
let me
people.
tell you, with Vince homie, Vince little homie, which was my bro, he was supposed to get a DP. They said, DW, get away from that nigga. We finna DP cut tonight. And Vince told me, DW, take care of him. You know what I'm saying? Because he finna go on a show and he know what's going on with him, but he like, DW, and they say, DW, you coming with me. Fuck that nigga, we finna get on, cuz. And I went to the homie that I came with. I said, they finna get on you. Go get your DP, cuz. I went saying, dog, you a dog. Stop letting them niggas play with you. He went the next day. This my nigga Johnny Hash, rest in peace. My little Mexican homie who from 2 ends from Vince Hood. He went, got his DP the next day, showed up, black eyes and everything. Like, yeah, I'm doubling crib. Yeah, what niggas talking about? And that's why I'm so passionate about. This is Vince Staples' little homie. If you hear what he say in his freestyles, he say Johnny Hash name a lot.
Yeah.
This is who we talking about. It's a little Mexican boy who banged crib, 2 end crib, and this is my little brother, and he was crazy about it. And Vince Staples told me that night we had a like different connection. He said, "Bro, watch out for him." Next 2 days, the homie got killed for banging crib, but being Mexicans, the Mexicans killed cuz.
Damn.
But Vince loved him just how I loved him. That's why when Vince do this shit, Vince is really a Long Beach nigga. His hood to win started on 7th Street in Long Beach, where I was at. I was there when it started. And they real cribs. They got Joey Fats, though. They got OT Genesis.
Shout out to Joey Fats.
And they got Vince Staples. So they playing with paper over there.
Sober.
They playing with choppers over there. And them niggas ain't playing. Like when we were, if
That
I
was so
take you
funny in
there,
the family
What do you
reunion.
think? I want us to focus on the show.
My
Yeah,
bad.
okay,
Like,
so
Vince
hold on.
Staples is cool.
So
I'm
we have
letting you-
established
hold on,
that.
hold on.
Okay.
So
My
in the-
whole point was how really was.
How really did.
Okay.
So in the family reunion episode, they even alluded to
take a break
that. Like one of his little cousins was like you need to put more blowers in the hood. Like
Yo,
like-
that line, right?
Yeah.
Because Vince just breezes past it. Like, he don't even really acknowledge
like-
that
Right.
line. Because that, for a moment, is like a peek into, like, the darker version of what happens when you get rich and famous, you know? Because that, for the most part, it's like people seem like they have respect. Like, obviously, they asking for money and shit in the show, but it's not really, like, showing too much. And that's why that last episode took me, by shock, too, because I was just like, oh, shit, so you guys are really going to cover this type of shit, too. All right.
The one uncle.
the rich one.
No,
It felt like a lot of the
Muslim hat on.
Oh yeah.
It felt like a
gave
lot of
him
the
a
uncles
long
and aunts were
speech.
probably like his actual aunts and uncles,
Yeah.
right? I don't know if
He gave him
assuming.
that long ass speech just to tell him that he needed to hold something, and that's how it is. They'll tell you how you need to invest and do this and that and that. Like, man, I know you doing good, man. You know what I'm saying? Start me off with 4,000-5,000. Like, get the fuck out.
And then there's this one uncle that I believe he was alluding to was like
used to be a football player.
fucked with USC and all that shit, and everybody was low key leaning on him. And
At
that's
the
why,
barbecue?
Yeah, so
but then
so
he
he's-
disappears too, so he's even
So
real?
he's kind of,
He
when
left the family on Vince.
he exactly. So he essentially passed the torch of providing for the family to Vince. You feel me? Like
I don't understand why Vince burnt the chicken either.
he's just learning. It's his first time cooking chicken.
But it's
for
like, what,
that-
you just stand there and look at it. Like, how you, like, some of the pieces that they showed were so black that it's just like.
it's better to overcook than undercooked chicken because you don't want salmonella.
And listen, I feel like I'm more open to burnt food than most people, but some of those pieces, I don't know if it was just the set designer who like overwhooped with this, but it just
They
was
probably
like,
did it on
to me,
purpose,
that was
like,
just
this
not
is
believable
first
that
time.
anyone could cook chicken that bad.
Here's the thing. What I really, if
grill,
you've been
whatever.
a fan of Vince Staples since like his early days, going back to Odd Future, and then his early solo career, he's always been very cinematic. Look at the video for North North. Look at the video for Senorita. He's always had these really cinematic, black and white, really artistic videos. You know what I mean? And so, and he even released a series of music videos that was an album prior to this. So we knew he had ambitions to take it beyond just music for a long time.
I didn't really get the purpose of the bank robbery thing. I was trying to get why that with the message up under that.
Here's what I
That-
think it
that-
is.
that seems
I
so
think it's-
unrealistic that it was kind
here-
of hard for me to
you
buy into it.
So
And it wasn't funny enough for it to feel slapstick.
from an artistic perspective, you said this is supposed to mirror the black experience. Black businesses are consistently discriminated against as far as getting loans from major institutions. So that's kind of what he was alluding to. But of course,
but if I come in this motherfucker right, and I could be your friend to where.
But just the idea
middleman it out.
Just the idea that you would be kicking it for that long in the bank during the bank robbery. I'm just like, really?
Do you know what suspension of disbelief is? Suspension of disbelief is when you're watching a movie, you have to kind of remove yourself from reality.
Like the payoff was not funny enough or interesting enough to justify me having to believe
my thing is, you're a part of that robbery once you go get the code.
Of course, he would have been caught up.
The empty safe was crazy. You didn't see.
He got the fucking code to the safe.
Man.
He got the code to the safe.
Yeah.
Of course, he's part of the robbery at that point.
And
like,
wait, we have a donation right here from Darian Edwards, $50. Britt, keep acting tough, wit, but gave us that BS excuse for why he won't pull up on Cowboy. Don't he?
Do your homework.
Streak on him no more. Won't even speak on him no more, I assume. Sorry, I didn't realize I was going to be like that when I started reading
No. Do your homework on me and him being from exactly the same block. And I listen to my older homies. We keep our issues off the internet. But at the end of the day, I still stand where I stand. I've never squabbled nobody that's PC available. And I'm not, they don't get head ups. They have to get DPs. So speak on what you know, Darian.
There it is. Back to Vince Staples.
So what I really like about that show is the fact that there's like little Easter eggs. There's the whole Kapow cereal thing, which he was trying to get the loan for Kapow cereal in the second episode.
And I don't want to spoil it, but like the focus on the little kid at the end of the last episode. Nah, I don't want to ruin it for DW either. But like
how they not watched all 5? They all got released the same day.
But, okay, the kid watching him on TV is like the metaphorical equivalent of like Lil Durk's ops having to fucking see him being this big star and supported by the mayor and shit.
Right,
you know?
And that's something that probably is very common for a lot of people. There might be kids that grow up in certain neighborhoods and the people that are the opposition wind up becoming huge stars, and then they have, you know what I mean? So that's a very common thing. And also I felt like it was like a reference to Kill Bill almost, like, you feel me? Like the way he looked at him, it was like, yeah, remember in Kill Bill in that first scene, like when she said to the daughter, like, yeah, like, I know I just fucking smoked your mom, you feel me? And when you grow up, we could come find me. It's good. I get it. You feel? I felt like it was a really artistic reference and a way of him framing it. I also, it's interesting because you brought up, you said you wanted to talk about that and the Schoolboy Q album. And the
Schoolboy Q album is not out.
I heard it. But
well, it's not out. I thought it was out, but
the version but regardless of that, there's like
Thursday night.
I thought it was interesting that you chose those two things because there's an undercurrent between them, and that's Mac Miller, who they were both incredibly close with. Mac Miller was the first artist to take Vince on a major tour, I believe, and he was very close with Schoolboy. You know what I mean? Yeah. So R.I.P. Mac, and I thought like it's just like shows the breadth and the entire wingspan of his influence.
I'm very, very bought in on season 2 if that does end up happening, especially just because of how it ended, and I was just like fascinated to see how they handle that. But I just ultimately felt like it fell into a middle ground where it wasn't quite weird enough to not be funny enough. Like I just felt like, in terms of like rap based oriented TV shows, and I hate to do it, but I'm gonna even compare it to the fucking Lil Dicky show. That shit is like absurdist, ridiculous. Like there's like fall down funny moments. I don't know if I ever really got there with the Vince Staples show.
I don't think that was the intention, though. I don't think it's a comedy show.
But in terms of like depth and like, real substance, to me, it can't hold a candle to Atlanta. So I feel like it fell into this uncanny valley of just not really being like enough on either end of the spectrum for me.
Was it enough to make you want to watch a complete season?
It makes me want to watch a complete season, but because I want to figure out what's going to happen with what happened at the fucking end of the first episode that I'm not talking about, which I thought was totally unexpected and way more interesting than most of what happened in the rest of it.
Because the thing is, those are 20-minute episodes. It was essentially 5 shorts.
I think one of the episodes was like 18 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's 5 shorts as opposed to Atlanta, which had a full budget behind it.
Right. But to me, like a lot, like very few of the characters really hit. And like that's one thing about Atlanta is that like a lot of like really good characters in it.
Yeah, there's no what's the dude's name? Paperboy, is that the rapper?
Yeah, there just wasn't like an equivalent to that of like the other characters really being funny. And then Vince himself is like it's deadpan. It's not like
I feel like he's kind of like a gangbanging Larry David almost. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like he's in these absurd situations and he has a really unique outside the box perspective on them.
The full production Netflix show is basically like the ultimate test of you as like an on-camera entertainer in a way that like, because like Vince kills it on podcasts and social media and stuff. And like, I don't know, I feel like he needs to open up a little bit if he wants to be the guy with the Netflix show. I didn't get enough of him on the show. But
I feel like it gave us enough to want more. And I feel like he did an incredible job. I mean, I saw a lot of artistic ingenuity in that. I understand your criticisms, but I think that's merely because we're not getting the full experience of what his vision is, but from what he was able to construct, considering where he started and how much of himself he put in his music videos and the trajectory, I think he's more than capable of doing.
Okay. Where were you at watching it? Were you like deeply engaged, like enjoying every minute of it? Or were you like just kind of watching it because I told you that you need to watch it?
Well, no, I got into it. Like, I'm about to go finish it when I get back. I got to 3 episodes. I also was in the middle of arguing because I was watching it with my homies and I was telling my wife to come in there, she could watch it with me, and she was like, why can't we watch it together? Like, listen, I'm doing homework for fucking work tomorrow.
My girl gets mad at me for like watching a show without her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you go to bed right after the fucking kid every night.
You better pause that shit.
All of a sudden, you wake up at 12 and you want to watch a fucking show, you're picking at
She got on my ass because I watched Andrew fucking Callahan get arrested for crossing the Mexican border. She's like, you're supposed to watch that with me. I'm like,
let's watch it.